Hello, and welcome to the Tutorial Toolbox. My name is Tobias, and this is Unity 101, Episode 7. Last time, we enabled our user to be able to jump, and then we made it so the camera always follows our player around. This time, we are going to add an object that our player can pick up and gain score from. So let's start up Unity and get going. We have our arena, or whatever you want to call it, as per usual. So let's create a new object by going into the hierarchy or game object here, create other, create a cylinder. I'm gonna place it at 1.5 and 1, rotate it 90 degrees, make it half the size in the X, a tenth of the size in the Y, and a half of the size in the C. So now we have this little coin-ish thing. Let's just move it down maybe a little bit. So it's just 0.3. So it's hovering a little bit above the plane, as you can see. So this little coin-ish thing, let's call it a coin. And if we play now, we have this object. It's if we hit it, it's like a wall. So that doesn't really help us or do anything for us. So what you want to do is we want, with the coins collider, we want to activate this box that's called isTrigger, and this will allow our our player to move through the coin, and when this happens, an event is triggered, and this allows us to capture this event and do something when it happens. So how do you do this? We simply add a new script, coin, to our coin game object. Let's move into the scripts folder and let's open it up and see what we got. So we have start and update as per usual. We don't need to start at all. And since it's the capsule collider, since it's the collider and it has to do with physics, let's do this in the fixed update just to be sure. Actually, no, my bad. We don't want to use this either. There's another default function in the mono behavior that's called on trigger enter, and it takes a parameter. It takes a collider as parameter, which is the collider that enters the trigger. So whenever our player enters the collider of our coin, it is going to what's it called? Then it's going to trigger this event and execute this code that's inside here. So we can just see this by doing debug.log enter. There we go. And if we now move in to our coin, you can see down here, or if you click it, you can see that a debug log has been executed twice because we moved through it 2 times and it says entered. So that's good. But we want our player we want it so that our player gains points whenever he picks up this coin. So in our player controller, we're going to change a little thing. We're just going to add a public integer for now and call it score and set it to 0. So it's public, we should be able to access it from all angles. And then inside the coin, we are going to do something a little bit different than before. Well, something new actually. Other, so we want to take the collider, we want to take the player. Actually, first of all, we want to check if if other dot get component player controller. So what this does is that if the collider that enters our trigger coin here, if it has a player controller script attached to it, as our player has, then this will be true. And then we want to do this other dot get component player controller dot score plus equals 1. So we add 1 to the score whenever this happens. So let's continue looking at our player. The score is 0. We move in 1, 2, 3. So it adds 1 to the score whenever we move through our coins. So that's great. But it's kind of a weird pickup object that doesn't get picked up. It just stays there, and we still get score, and we just get infinite score this way. So we want to do something so that when this happens, the coin disappears. We do this by destroy this, and destroy this basically, well, destroy takes a game object and removes it from the game. And since we use this, then it means this game object that this script is attached to. So if we move into this coin, if we have another 2 coins, let's just duplicate, we're gonna need 2 anyways. So if we move into this coin, then it's this coin that's going to be deleted. But if we move into this coin, then it's this coin that's going to be deleted. It can be a little bit difficult to understand, but yeah, that's what's going to happen. So it deletes itself, it removes itself from the game. So let's see, we move into a coin and nothing happens. That's a little bit weird. Oh, I'm sorry. This dot game object. This refers to the script itself, as far as I know. There we go. Yeah. All right. So of course we need to destroys basically just destroys whatever, and in this case it destroyed the script on the game object, leaving the game object to still be there. So instead we need to destroy this dot game object. So it destroys the entire game object and removes it from the game. Um, So now we have some coins, but they don't really look that attractive. They're just things on the map that we can see, and if we like move into it, we gain some points, and then it disappears. So let's add a little bit of a visual effect to this coin. In the update, we want to transform that what do you want to do? We want to rotate it. On a vector 3 that can we do this? I'm actually not quite sure if this is going to work. I haven't tried it. So it rotates around the, let me see, around the x-axis, which is left. That makes sense. So we're gonna make a new vector though, because we want to make it, actually we could vector 3 dot up. That should be the right one, shouldn't it? Okay, apparently not. So let's rotate around vector 3 dot new vector 3 0.0f comma 1.0f comma 0.f unexpected error. Sorry, forgot one. Okay, apparently not. Oh, right. No, wait. Actually, I don't know. That's It's a little bit weird. Why doesn't it rotate? Okay, so let's see. What do we want? How do we want it to rotate? We want it to rotate around the y-axis. So like that, it rotates around itself. Hmm. But how do we do that if this doesn't work? Alright, I'm gonna pause the video and I'll be back with you in a second. Alright, so I'm sorry about that. Um, I'm not quite sure why this does what it does, but apparently we need to rotate around the z-axis by 45 degrees and time and multiply that vector by time delta time for it to have the wanted effect. I believe it has something, well, I don't believe it has something to do with how rotation is perceived. So how it's a vector, the rotation is a vector, and when we rotate, we don't actually rotate the vector. There's some multiplication or some addition or something like that between the vectors that we wish to rotate. So um, this is the result, at least. Now we have these two objects that, um, yeah. But anyways, I'm sorry about that. I thought it was something else, but it totally slipped my mind. This is what we need to do: transform the rotate. So this rotate function allows us to supply a vector of how we want the rotation to be. The how it really works is some kind of a weird mystery. You can actually find out. There's, I believe it is F1 or something. There's a way to what's it called? There's documentation that you can read that explains how the rotate function works, but for now I would just suggest, well, either go look it up so you're 100% sure, or you can just play around with the different variables, well, with the different things here. Just one thing, it's not in a float. The vector that it takes, it's as it says here, vector 3 Euler angles. It's basically degrees that it takes. So this is 45 degrees that we wish to rotate it. And then of course we do time it by time dot we multiply it by time dot delta time because we want it to sync with the update so it doesn't rotate wildly. And how much time do we have? We have a little bit of time, so we can make this. So now we have, when we play, we have our player here. We can see the score, but only down here. So we want to make it a little bit easier for ourselves and the player by adding a Gui text. Let's position it at 0, 1, 0. And then this Gui text, we say score, and then we add a component. So we add a new script, Gui. Let's just call it Gui. Doesn't really matter. Put it inside the scripts folder. Then there's a function called on Gui, and in here we want it to say this dot Gui Text dot text is equal to score plus gameobject dot find. Actually, let's do it different. Plus player dot score. Let's just player. There we go. Let's make a game object. No, not game object. Player controller player public variable here so that our GUI here takes our player controller script, and then something should happen and something does not happen. This, let's see, this dot we can do this in update as well, as a matter of fact. So every time it updates, there should be that there is a function called onGUI that updates the GUI, which is the preferred one to use when you need to update GUI. But I don't remember the function call. I will say it in the next video though, and we will change it so that it's correct. And then we will what will we do? We will start on the next concept game, because this concept game is actually completed. You can take the coins, copy them all over the map. You can create a map however you want it to look like, and then you can ask your friends or something to play, collect all the coins, gain score, and yeah. So of course you don't really win when you have the full score, but that should be an easy fix. You could do something like if player score is greater than or equal to 2, because right now we only have 2 coins. You want to change this, of course. This that Gui Text is equal to you've won. Just to make it a little bit better. So like whoops, sorry. Gui Text.text. So if we play, score of 0, score of 1, you have won. So basically that's it. You can make the platform however you like, and next time we are going to start on our second concept game, and this concept game is going to show us how we can move using the mouse, so like a click to move type game, and it's also going to use animations so that we can move using those and stuff like that, as well as teach you how to use the asset store. We're going to be going into that as well. So yeah, this has been all for the first concept game. I'll see you guys next time in the second concept game, If you wish to stay updated, then please subscribe to the channel. It's going to help us keep you up to date with the newest tutorials and stuff. And we will soon be starting some other series as well, so it's not only Unity. So if you're interested in that, then maybe stick around for a little bit longer. And it's been a pleasure. I'll see you guys next time.